Okay, thanks for signing up for Bulklister. Now that you're here, I want to share some of the more in-depth details of how the software works, how to set up everything to get it to work right the first time. Hopefully I can answer a lot of your questions and map everything out. I'm going to create a 2-box shipment today. I'll start out by scanning the books in. We'll see what that looks like once those books upload to Amazon. And once we're ready to print labels, we'll print out some labels and I'll share with some details about how that works. Finally, how to create your shipment, how to verify the box contents, how to make sure everything is set up the way it should be, so that you're following all the rules according to what Amazon requires. And I'm hoping that by the time we're finished, you'll have a really good idea of what to look out for along the way. And the objective is that everything saves you time so you can focus more on your business. So let's get started. I've gone ahead and separated the books into very good, and acceptable books. These days we're pretty conservative about how we grade the books. A couple tips when you're grading books: if you see labels on the back of these books, do your best to verify that it's actually the right book. You might see sometimes international versions or instructor's copies or uncorrected proofs or those kind of books for sale when they shouldn't be. Sometimes other sellers will put, stickers on them that say used or just tape to cover up the instructor's review copy type of thing. And that can get you in trouble if you accidentally sell those books. So be careful to verify that the books haven't been masked to look as if they're something else. Make sure you're scanning in the right listing and that it's okay to sell the book. Next, we'll move to Bulklister. Set up a Bluetooth scanner. If you have a USB scanner, that works just as well. I use the KDC, but any Bluetooth scanner would work so long as it connects to your computer. Once it's connected, what I like about that is I have the mobility to move around. I can scan to anything and not be tethered down by a cord. All right, let's move on to scanning. This is the Bookseller Academy site. Once you've signed in, you can simply go to List FBA and list products. All right, the default price, I use $700. That's just my number that I always used. Our cost of goods, it's about $1.50, and our default quantity is 1. I'll start with scanning the very good books. Okay, the first thing I'll do is take the Bluetooth scanner and scan the barcode. Okay, there we are. This screen here shows us pricing information. This book would automatically be priced $700, and I can continue scanning now. And that is what I like to call speed mode. You could just scan through. I'll show you just how fast it could go actually. Right now it's creating listings for these books. And once I were finished, I could just upload it and it's ready to go. Just for this demonstration, let's go ahead and delete these. And this is how you delete. So right now, just go ahead and start deleting all of these listings I created. You'll see with these listings, it shares with you the title, the ASIN, your custom SKU for that book, the price, and then the condition. Then there's also the option to delete. So starting over, this is what I call price as you go. We'll scan this book again. And then you can select a price. If I wanted this book to be $28.75, then I select this price and then it matches. If I wanted it to be $26.06 to match the lowest used FBA offer, I can do that. If I wanted to drop the price by a penny, I could do that, or leave it at $700 and then price it later by hand or using a repricing template. So there's different approaches to pricing. The way that this software has changed how I scan books, having this screen here gives me a really quick bird's eye view of what this book should be priced at approximately. So here's more information up here. This is the current rank, meaning it's in the top 2% of all Amazon book listings. See, the ones that I like to look at here are used FBA. That means it's 2606. The used buy box, 2606, it's the same. This is the new FBA offer, 2875. Amazon is selling it new for 2895. So really, because this is a used book, we're looking to compete with this offer here, 2606. All this information is right here, and you can see that the potential profit is 1587, and that the Amazon fees will be 869. If you would like to look at the listing itself, just click View Listing. That'll lead you to the actual listing on Amazon. After scanning that first book, we can move to just one last example. Okay, and you can see we have this book here. We see the used buy box is 28, right? And that's the same as the lowest used FBA price at 28. So we can come in there and match that price. It looks like it's selling brand new for $29.95. Amazon is selling it for $29.95. 28 is reasonable. There's only one other used FBA offer, and this book has a current rank of 127,000, meaning that it's selling all the time. Okay, so now I'll just go ahead and scan through the rest of these books that are in very good condition. Okay, great. So we're done with the very good books. Now let's move on to our good books. So you can simply select this drop-down menu here under condition and choose your condition. Now you're ready to start scanning your good books, and I'll go through that as quickly as possible. Okay, and just like that, we're finished scanning the books in. Reviewing through, you can see all the books that you scanned. Next, you hit Submit Products. If you want this to be accurate, then price as you go, and then you'll have this graph here that'll tell you exactly what the potential value of your sales, profit, cost of goods, fees, shipping, and average rank will be. Okay, once we're done there, simply hit Submit Products. So right now, Bookseller Academy is communicating with your seller account, and it's creating listings. So that takes about 15 minutes. Then we will be able to go to List FBA and select Print Labels. I'll be using the Dymo to print the labels. We also now have the option to print out 30 up labels. So we'll come back in a few minutes, print these labels out, and start labeling the books. Back after about 10-15 minutes, and now we have the option to print Dymo labels. If you would like to print 30 ups, you simply select Print 30 up labels. And what that'll do is it'll generate and download the traditional format 30 up labels. There they are. We had 62 books. There's your PDF. What I'll be doing today is printing Dymo labels. So select Print Dymo. That also generates and downloads a PDF. So in my case, what I'll be doing is printing Dymo labels. And to print Dymo labels, you simply select Print Dymo labels. Then you see it creates this PDF. If you double click that, we recommend you use Google Chrome, not just because of this feature, but many others. But in Google Chrome, you'll be able to print out these labels right away. You select Print Here. Dymo label writer in this case. The paper size is 30256 shipping. Then you select Print. There you have it. That's our roll of Dymo labels. Once in a while, you'll see a label that looks almost nothing like this that prints out. If you see that, that is our way of telling you that the book shouldn't be sent to Amazon. Usually Amazon has specific books that it might block you from selling for one reason or another, and it'll exclude that book from any shipment, no matter what you do. Now, we're going to print out 62 labels because we submitted and listed 62 labels. But for example, if 2 of those books didn't show up in the shipment, then you'll see that unique label printout that looks different than these. And that label is simply telling you, put that book aside, it's not going to make it into the shipment. So next, let's go ahead and start labeling these books. Now the labels print out in the exact order that we scanned them in. So once I find this book, I can label it, and then from there, the next book should be the next label. And so that helps this process to move a lot faster. Now we have our labels ready. It's time to apply the labels to the back of the books. As you can see, we have our standard label. Our labeling system, we made sure to allow you to see more of the title than you may be used to seeing. That makes it easier. As you can see right there, there's a couple lines. So we found that can help you save time if you're having trouble finding a book and matching the label to it. So I'll go ahead and start with this pile here. I've found the book that I'm looking for. Just go ahead and apply the label. And then you'll see that everything else matches up in the same order that we scanned. When you're labeling books, make sure to cover any and all barcodes that are on the back of the book. That's just Amazon's policy. It helps their warehouse workers avoid scanning the wrong barcode. So now that we've labeled these books, let's move on to creating a shipment. Now that we've listed and labeled the books, let's go to Seller Central and sign in. Go to Manage Inventory, and then here in this filter, select Search Date From. And then you can choose the date. For me, I'm recording this on February 4th, 2020. You choose the date that you are listing your product. From there, you'll see all the listings from today. You select the ones that you're ready to ship. You can do it one by one, but because I've only listed these books today, I can select all. And now, let's send replenish inventory. It'll say you have selected 62 listings. Do you want to continue? Select yes. From there, create a new shipping plan using individual products and select continue to shipping plan. Once here, you enter the number of units. In this case, it's just 1. But you may be sending in 2 books, for example, of the same copy. So if you need to change that, just change the number there. I'll keep it at 1 for now. Continue. Okay, now you'll see this page. It wants to know if you need to do any prep for books. No. Books and CDs and video games, there typically isn't any prep required. Who preps? Merchant. That would be us. That would be you. Now it's asking you to label. We've already done this. You can skip past that. Now you're presented with options on how to label. We've already labeled these books, so you can skip right past that. It'll take just a moment to calculate your shipping plan. As you can see here, we have all the books going to Morena Valley. That's good with me, so I'll go ahead and approve. Next, select Work on Shipment. Okay, now we're presented with the option to review shipment contents or modify units. I'm not doing that personally today. If there were a book in there that I needed to remove for one reason, then I would. For example, if the boxes were too heavy and I had to take out one book, select Review and Modify Units and subtract that book from the shipment. Today, I'll be using small parcel delivery using an Amazon partner carrier, UPS. Since we have 62 books, it's very likely I'll be using 2 boxes today. So I'll select more than 1 SKU per box. And today we'll upload a file. Select TSV, your number of boxes, that's 2, and then generate a pack list. Since I don't know the box weight just yet, that means we're at the point where we need to start working on our box content information. This is where we can go back to Bookseller Academy, go to List FBA, and Box Content. Now scroll back to the top and copy this shipment ID back to Bookseller Academy and paste that here and select Start Box Content. Bookseller Academy has communicated with your Amazon Seller Central account, so now let's start scanning for box content. Okay, now we're back and we'll start working on the box content information. I have the scale here. Go ahead and set the box up on top of the desk. It's a 16 by 12 by 12 box. Make sure to verify that the current box is number 1 before you start scanning, and then scan the labels that we've put onto the back of the books. When you scan the book and hear the bell, that means that the book belongs in the shipment. If you scan a book that doesn't belong in the shipment, you'll see this message. Error, item is not in the shipment, or you did not print an FN SKU label for this item. When you encounter that issue, just make sure to remove that book and put it aside. So one of the benefits of having the scale on the desk is that as I'm scanning through the box content, I can keep an eye on the weight and make sure it's staying below 50 pounds. Sometimes if you go over 50 pounds, then they may not accept your shipment, or there may be some issues with that. So just keep an eye on the weight, keep it under 50. This box weighs 39 pounds and 11 ounces. So I'll just round up and call it 40 pounds. Since this is box 1 we're scanning, I'll just write on the box that this is box 1. It's 40 pounds. That'll help me keep track. Okay, now we're ready to start scanning for box number 2. So on screen, make sure to select Next. So now that we'll be scanning books for box number 2, let's just make sure that it says box 2 next to current box, and then to be ready to go. So I have box number 2, put it on the scale, start scanning. We're finished filling up this box. I have the box weight here. This is box number 2. I'll just write down the weight, making sure it's under 50 pounds. So I noticed that box 2 was a lot heavier than box 1. Box 1 was about 40 pounds. Box 2 was 49 after rounding up. And that's cutting it close. I really don't like to go that close to 50 pounds. So I could send it off as it is, but I'll use this as an opportunity to show you what you can do to edit your box content info if you run into that issue and you want to edit what is in each box. So I found a book that's probably a couple pounds, so I'm going to delete it from the box. Now I want to put it into box number 1. So let's go from our current box to box number 1. Okay, and then I can add that book now to this box. Great. So now it's added it to box number 1 rather than box number 2. I will need to reweigh the boxes at this point. Next, let's go back to Bookseller Academy Tools and select Download TSV. Now go back to Seller Central and you can begin entering your box weight and dimensions. Box number 1 was 42 pounds. I always round up. Box number 2 is 47. The size of these boxes is 16 by 12 by 12. Okay. Next, we upload your completed pack list. Choose the file. That's the TSV that we just downloaded. Select Open. Select Upload Now. Okay, so now Amazon is analyzing the TSV file and it's cataloging which book is in which box so that they know where to look for example, if someone buys the book before they open the box, they'll know exactly where to find that book. There we have it. Your pack list was processed successfully. Now we can accept the shipping charges. Okay, shipping charges, UPS, 89 pounds, $17.55. It's pretty good. It is a local warehouse for us. Accept the charges. Okay, now there are a number of ways to print out the box labels. We are going to choose black rectangle label. Okay, and there's your shipping label. Okay, great. Now just print out the label and then we'll put it on the box next. So now I can label the box. Take the FBA label, put it right in front. Next to that is the UPS shipping label. That's it. Now that our boxes are labeled, we're ready to ship them out. The idea with shipping is that you want to attempt to save as much time as possible. It is the most time-consuming portion of the entire book selling business, I believe. And a lot of times it's not the most fun part. It is very repetitive and you do have to keep an eye on detail. That's part of the reason why we created Bulklister and all the associated tools, was because we need to be able to scan through these books as quickly as possible, but also be diligent and have a good idea that we are sending in the right books at all time, that we aren't making any mistakes, that we aren't breaking any rules according to Amazon. And that's the utility of what we have here with Bulklister. Really, we've covered every base from scanning to box content to pricing, and we have more coming soon. There's a repricing element coming soon. We also have some other tools that I'll show you how to use to analyze your sales reports, your inventory reports, and prepping information for your accountant. There's a lot more to come. If you've made it this far, thank you for sticking with us. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact us anytime at our support email address. If you'd like to stay in contact with us, we also have an Instagram and a YouTube page with more tutorials coming out all the time. I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation and talking more about book selling with all of you, and as well as selling other types of products on Amazon down the road. So thanks again, stay in contact, and I'll see you in the next video.